We are so grateful for all of you. We could not have done this conference without you. We also know that it's a stretch. We had quite a few more people on the first day than we have the last day. But I do want to say, for those of you who are still here, you are in for the best treat ever. Because today's panel is filled with apprentices. Woohoo, yes. So we have had workshops and listened to panels all about piloting, planning, designing, launching, implementing, data, da-da-da-da-da-da. But the bottom line is, this is who you do all of that for. So now you actually get to hear from the voices from all the piloting and all the launching and all the implementing, and they're going to share their stories with you. So I would ask, we have a combination of youth here, and we have a combination of adults. Don't try to point out the difference between who's the youth and who's the adult. But we do have a combination of youth and adult, and I want us to be really good models and audience members, because I know we do have a tendency to check our phones and our emails and things while people are talking, but we want to be good models for our youth especially and give a good listening ear. Okay, so are we ready? Yes. That didn't sound like it. Are we ready? Excellent. And I just want to say also, before we get started, we have our adult apprentices came from Texas, a program in Texas, but they drove down from Dallas, and one of them drove down last night after she closed down her center. So we want to really appreciate them for being here. And then our youth came from Oakland, California. And we are so excited to have them. Okay, enough talking. I'm going to start. So our youth came from Oakland Unified School District, in a program exploring careers for education. We have two of them that as pre-apprentices completed their first permit level. One of them graduated and is now starting her apprenticeship, as she is working full-time, receiving benefits, and has her own apartment. The other two are have completed their first level permit and are transferring to four-year universities. Our two adult apprentices from Texas finished their first level CDE permit and are now directors, and one is also working as a journey worker. Okay, so I want to move on and start off with our first question. So we will start off, let's start down there with my adults and we'll come up to my youth. Let's see, is that Miss Cheryl is first? What attracted you to the apprenticeship program, and how has it impacted your life goals?
I usually have a very big voice, and everyone's like, why are you yelling at me? So I was like, Cheryl, gentle voice, like gentle hands, gentle voice. But that's okay, I'm gonna bring it, people.
There you go.
Good morning, good morning. Okay. So we partnered with Campfire with various things, and Campfire brought us this apprenticeship program. And, you know, different meetings, having great conversations, so excited about it, brought it to my staff, and they poo-pooed it. They're like, whatever, Miss Cheryl, we're not gonna do it. And my owner was like, hey, why don't you do it? And I'm like, well, I'm old. Apprenticeship should be for like youthful people. I'm youthful in the mind, but I'm old. And she's like, no, you should go for it. So I was like, okay, I'm selling it to the staff. Let me sell it to myself. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna press through. I'm gonna go through this apprenticeship program. I'm gonna see what it's all about. and I wanted to get my CDA. I had been a director for several years, but I had come from the banking industry, so it was a whole different thing. So I was like, I really need to hone my skills. Some of the staff was saying you're not in touch with what we deal with in the classroom because you come from corporate and you don't understand little people. And I was like, it's just big people, little people, they're all the same, but they're not. In some ways they are, but they're not. And so that pressed me to say, you know what, let me try and go through this program, see what it's all about. So, and to really connect with my staff, to connect with the parents, with the students, and to really have a full understanding of early child care. So that's how I got into the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Lenore, can you share with us how you came to the apprenticeship program and how it impacted your life goals?
Yeah, of course. So basically, I received an invitation from one of the conferences that I attended, and my difference is that I'm a in-home child care provider. So, people see it as, you're babysitting, so they don't give you that respect, right? So when I heard that, hey, you got an opportunity to get your CDA and grow and this, so I attended one of the meetings, and it just opened a whole new level, to give that high quality care for my community.
Great, thank you. Okay, Miss Danny.
Hi, good morning. How I got into this apprenticeship. Well, I was a senior in high school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, right? Sorry.
You're
Big
a
girl
quick
voice.
learner, quick learner.
Okay. But Cecilia, one of the leads in the apprenticeship, used to be my middle school vice principal. And she was in the main office. She was, setting up posters, trying to get people in. And I saw her, I said hi, and it went from there, really. I was with a friend at the time, and I told her to join with me. We signed up, and then she ended up not joining, by the way. I still went because I was like, well, even if you're not gonna go, I'm still gonna go, because to be honest, they offered a stipend, and so I was like, huh? That piqued my interest a lot. So I went, and the rest is history, I guess. Yeah, and then I was able to get enough credits to become a paraprofessional, which I am, and work with and work with kids on the spectrum, which they're
awesome.
my pride and joy. Those are my babies. Those are I know I don't have children, but I want children. But those are my children, Yeah. And then I got into the adult apprenticeship, and I'm now exposed to more things that I never, senior year me would have never thought that I would be here, in my own apartment, having a job, and, being in this conference, which I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you so much for bringing me here. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Miss Karma, same question. How did you come to the apprenticeship program?
I was in my sophomore class when Miss Cecilia presented to us, and at first I wasn't too sure about it because usually when we had presentations, we were all bored out of our minds. So, but as I started reading her slide, I was interested in psychology at the time, just a little bit. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I did have an interest. So when I noticed that sociology was one of the classes, it piqued my interest, and then apparently I signed up for the program, which I didn't remember until the summer because I got an interview. And when I was being interviewed, or just they were giving me information about the program, I heard the word money, and that's when my eyebrows raised, and I'm like, oh, I get to do something that I kind of like, and I'll get money. And I didn't want to do it alone, so I invited my best friend to it, and she also forgot that she signed up for it, apparently. And yeah, after that, taking classes within the program, it kind of started giving me direction in what I wanted to do in my life, because I still didn't know what career or what I wanted to major in. And after the summer internship last year, it finally felt right that working with children is where I wanted to be at.
Thank you. And last but not least, Ms. Kiyomi.
Okay, well, I was actually introduced to this program by this lady. Her name is Miss Teresa. She's been helping me since 9th grade. And so in my junior year of high school, I was like, I've been telling like how I like working with kids, because my sophomore year over the summer, I was doing internships working with kids. And so then she had told me that Ohio had to do a enrollment class called Child Development, and that it was every Wednesday after school. At first, I was kind of iffy about it, because like, who really want to be still at school after like a long day at school? Like, I be wanting to go home. But then she told me it was a paid enrollment class. I said, okay. And so I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And ever since then, I loved it. And how it impacted my life school, it made me want to go to college and major in sociology, so I can work with kids even more.
And I just want to point out a few key things that I heard. I heard the motivation of money. I heard I didn't want to do this alone. So when we think about what the cohort experience actually is, you heard I didn't want to do this alone. And then I also heard skill development, wanting to be more quality. And then I also heard, there was one more thing I wanted to point out. I knew I needed a pen. It'll come back to me. Until it does, let's go to question number 2. Okay, and I am going to start with Ms. Lenore. What has been the biggest challenge or barrier you faced going through the apprenticeship, and how did you get beyond that barrier?
So basically, I wouldn't call them barrier, more like life events. You know, I'm a mother of 3. One of my kids is on the spectrum as well. And also facing a family member passing away, with all that going to, and also divorcing. You know, it was just too much, right, to handle at that moment. But, you know, having the mentors calling me, reaching out, saying, hey, you got this, continue going, like, keep challenge yourself, it's okay, we all go through this. My fears, you know, went away with that, especially them being compassionate and giving me the time to finish, you know. And that's it. Yeah, there's always a solution to a problem. That's what my mom always say.
Great, thank you. Ms. Cheryl, same question. Biggest challenge or barrier that you faced and how you got through that?
The biggest challenge, well, there was various ones. I kept thinking how difficult this is, how hard this is. When you're a director, you're managing a team, you're managing all these families, your days. People don't realize if mom and dad are going to work 8 or 9 hours, that means the child's with you for 9 to 10, sometimes 11 hours. And I don't think a lot of people realize that the teachers in early child education work 10 to 12 hours daily. So when you're looking at that, the day, and then once you finish that day, you've got to go to class. And if you are adulting and lifing, There's people that need you, that you gotta feed, that you gotta drop off at activities, that you gotta, just all these things. And it was hard. It was hard. And granted, we appreciate the stipend, but when you look at the time that you're investing, plus you're still trying to do quality work, and we all know we've got those people that show up at work and don't show up. They're either a body or they call in. Because this morning, now I drove last night, and we had call-outs, and this morning at 5, I got 3 call-outs. So I was up, shifting, and managing, even though I still had my obligations here. So I don't think that people realize the challenge and the difficulty and the commitment that you have to have when you go into this program, that you are going to have to push through. It's not going to always be easy. The days are going to be long, the nights are going to be long, and you still have to show up and be 100%.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's start here and go that way. And we will have Ms. Kiyomi answer the same question in regards to your biggest challenge. And this is coming from the youth. And I want people to really pay attention to listen, because we do a lot of designing, but we don't really always understand what challenges they're going through and how we might support them through those challenges. Okay, Ms. Kiyomi.
A challenge I faced while I was in the program was my mental health, because around this time I was going through a lot. I was going through a lot with my god sister, which led me to have to remove myself from her, because the stuff she had put me through was taking a big toll on my mental state, to the point where I fell behind in my college work. But then I was able to push through it. I had to really just sit down and let myself just cry, and then and have a little a mental talk to yourself. And then after that, I just went and had a little pep talk with my mom, and having her telling me it's okay, and just focus on yourself. It really helped me a lot, because hearing that from my mom really just stuck with me, because I'm a mama's girl. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Same question to Ms. Karma.
There was a couple of things that really contributed to my biggest challenges. At first, as I'm pretty sure almost every student can relate, is procrastination. That's been a thing I've been dealing with since middle school. And it wasn't just that. There was a couple of things throughout the year that made it difficult to be in the pre-apprenticeship. It was my mental health. I was struggling with relationships at the time, and in the second semester, I struggled with my physical health. I was hospitalized for a week, and I also struggled with my emotional health, because during that week, I had lost my father, and I did not allow myself any time to grieve or just focus on my physical or emotional health or my mental health. I only thought about school because I didn't want to fall behind. Yet, I procrastinated. So, when I got back to school, I really struggled to focus, and Mrs. Celia noticed that I struggled to focus, because when I was hospitalized, she visited me, so she provided me emotional support. And afterwards, when I needed help on my assignments, she would send reminders. She would send all of us reminders, not just me. And she also provided scaffolds for the assignments that we had. And using the scaffolds just made doing the work very easy, because it gave us a sense of direction of where to go. And she just checked up on me, and not just me, she checks up on everyone. And I actually I feel like I have a closer relationship with Mrs. Celia than I do with my own mother. And I think the reason that I think most of the students have a closer relationship with Mrs. Celia is because we find her so relatable, so kind of down to earth. Because usually with teachers, we kind of view them as above us. We don't see them as kind of someone who we should find or support or seek for at times our needs. But the way Miss Cecilia presents herself to us, it just makes her less scary. And she lets us know. She's always giving us reminders of a lot of things, not just our work, but about our health and making sure that we take care of ourselves as much as she's taking care of us. And the apprenticeship isn't just an apprenticeship, it's a community. And I feel very comfortable entering that classroom each day because I know it's going to be a fun day with Miss Cecilia and also my classmates. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Karma. That was great. Ms. Danny, same question.
Well, just as many of these ladies, I too struggled. Wait.
It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Thank you. You're okay. Thank you. Breathe.
That's right.
Yes.
I get very emotional because I'm just an emotional person. Yesterday, somebody said, "You wear your heart on your sleeve," and yes, I do. Thank you. I actually brought some because I knew this would happen. Thank you. Okay, well, what was the question again? Sorry.
Challenges and barriers that you feel comfortable talking about.
Okay, well, like Karma, I struggled a lot with procrastinating because I didn't really have faith in myself coming from a background where I didn't receive that. My home life was not the best, just like many of the kids, the youth in Oakland and around the world. I never received support in the way that I needed it. I was silenced, and I'm talking about it because it needs to be talked about. Because there's a lot of women out there, men out there, and teenagers a long way. You're gonna have days where you, as the lead, feel exhausted. And like you can't get to every student because you're in class and then you're like, "Oh, Miss Cecilia, oh, Jessica, oh, Cecilia, oh, Jessica." They are not octopuses. You guys are not octopuses. You need help. Recruit people to help you. That goes a long way. Another piece of advice I would say is find the joy in the moment. Enjoy it because you are making a difference in those children's lives. And be proud of yourself. And be kind to yourself.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Lenore, same question. What would you like people to know? What would you like to say as your final word?
Okay. So basically, to all of these ladies that I have mentioned, my major thing was the lack of materials in hand, because not everybody had this, this resources. So, in order to provide that high quality teaching, we need curriculums, we need toys, we need hands-on, and basically that's it, right?
Great.
Hands-on material, that support, and that guidance. The guidance was amazing. Like I don't have no complaint about the mentors or guidance because they were always there pushing. But I was like, I don't have materials. What do I use? But yeah, that's it.
And I just want to piggyback on to what Ms. Lenore said, if people don't understand. As she had family child care, she would get advice about how you should use these materials and this would help you, but she didn't have those materials that they were saying that she should be using to bring up the quality. So if you're going to make advice, get some support and materials. So I just want to make sure people understood that. Okay, Ms. Cheryl.
With the apprenticeship program, one of the things, it's many things, but one of the things is that we want people to know that we are professionals, that what we do is valuable, that we are not just babysitting, that we too are educators, and we are laying the foundation for where these children are going. And I don't think at times the respect value comes in for early child educators. A lot is wanted from them to do, but the value of what they do is not appreciated or always counted or considered. And so with that, just when we're creating things, the same integrity that we would say that we would give a teacher, we're teachers too. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it doesn't always get transferred out that way. And so when we're looking at that, say, these are teachers, and we can't do anything in kinder, first, and up without that foundation. No one builds a house on sand unless you want it to wash away or fall down. And so we're not sand. We are not sand. We are valuable, and we should get the same investment that we would give to others in the education field. And when we are spoken to, we should get that. And the quality of items that are created for us should be the same. Mm-hmm. Because we too are professionals. So please take that into consideration. And she is so right. There are teachers that are fleeing education, running in the middle of the night. And so if we can get the young people that are in high school that have the heart for it, not the heart for the summers off and the 86 days through the school year off, the heart for educating the students. Let's get a program in, and let's get support and mentorship and the quality items and the equipment that they need and the curriculum that they need and all those things while we're doing these classes and these programs. That's the last one.
So as we wrap up, we want to make sure that you use your mind, but lead with your heart. We want to make sure we provide supportive materials when needed. We want to make sure that we authentically care and have enough support of caring people. We want to understand that these are all professionals on this stage, and by golly, bring some snacks. Please join me in thanking this apprenticeship panel.